let's move away from energy and talk about something that also took place today. The minority took to the streets of Accra this morning to petition the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, also the police CID and OSP over the Sammy Gyamfi Gift saga. The presidency on Wednesday cautioned and cleared the acting CEO of the Gold Board, indicating that no further action will be taken against him. By the minority, they've rejected the move, insisting Sammy Gyamfi must be sanctioned. James Aveji was with them throughout this petition presentation ceremony, and he joins me in studio. So, James, what exactly are they seeking in this petition? First, let's find out who is the petitioner in this matter. So,
the petitioner is the MP for Nalerugu Gambaga constituency, Honorable Mumuni Nuruddin Mohammed. He is doing the petition on behalf of the minority, and he, in the company of the minority whip himself, Habib Idrisu, as well as the NPP as a party's Deputy General Secretary, Haruna Mohammed, including some other members of parliament, have visited the 3 investigative bodies today. They first went to the CHRAJ, and then they proceeded to the CID headquarters, and finally to the office of the special prosecutor, and then gave an address at the floor in Parliament. Basically, they are raising 6 grounds in total for this petition. Top amongst it, which includes what we've heard earlier, some various provisions on money laundering as well as other regulations. But what is different with this is the inclusion of the code of conduct of the public appointees, which have been launched by the president a few days ago. That code of conduct have been included in this particular 6 grounds that they want the OSP, the CHRAJ, as well as the police CID to do their investigations into. They want them to investigate 4 key things, which amongst them is the source of the dollars we have seen Sammy Gyamfi give out, and also establish whether there is a possible conflict of interest as well as corruption in that part, to generally establish whether giving out dollars in public is legitimate or not, so that we can proceed from there. We can listen to the MP himself addressing the media in Parliament, expatiating on this as well as other issues he's been raising, including the Cecilia Dapa issue and the position the then minority took on it.
Right. So we're working to get our file. We'll bring that soundbite shortly, and then we can. But they'll be joining me in the studio pretty soon. So what's next for them? Did they say?
So they will now have to wait for these 3 investigative bodies to get into the investigation. It is not yet clear how long this is going to take. Let me also establish that for all 3 organizations they've been to, they've not been able to meet the substantive heads of these organizations. For instance, at CHRAJ, they had to present to the legal department. The CHRAJ boss himself didn't receive this. The same as the CID headquarters, we were told that the CID boss herself is in a meeting, and so they had to present it to be received on her behalf, as well as the office of the special prosecutor. As to how long it will take, we do not know yet. What is also not known is whether whatever outcome the recommendations the 3 bodies would predict out of this, whether there is a sanction, there will be a sanction in it or not, as to whether the presidency will go ahead to implement that or not, that we also do not know. And so we'll now be waiting on the 3 investigative bodies to get into this and establish or not what they are calling for.
Right. We can listen to the petitioner after the presentation today.
We want these institutions of states who are mandated to do some of these things to find out the source of the money. Where did Mr. Sammy Gyamfi got that huge amount of money that he doesn't have Ghana cedi in his car, and he can put his hand into a bag and bring $10,000 and dash to alleged $10,000 alleged and dashed to somebody. And also want them to investigate whether the said currency formed part of public or institutional fund entrusted into Mr. Sammy Gyamfi hands as the acting CEO of Gold Board. We also want to know whether it's a potential conflict of interest and abuse of office. We also want to know whether he has violated the Code of Conduct for Public Officers recently launched by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And we also want to know whether he has breached the Foreign Exchange Act, which we believe he has. We also want to know potential tax evasion by Mr. Sammy Gyamfi or the receiver of the money. If you look at all these issues, during the 2024 campaign, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama mentioned that the difficult decision of dealing with your own people, that is appointees, is what make you pass the test of corruption. So we want to find out from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama what has changed. Because if you can't deal with your own people, you can't deal with Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, then who else can you deal with? If you remember, Cecilia, the former minister, Abnadapa, it was the same issue, dollars issue. But we never saw those dollars, but he was punished by the president and he's under prosecution or investigation. The same thing, if you look back to 2012, coming back to 2016, Victoria Hammer, you remember that case? Victoria Hammer was talking to somebody, mentioned that she want to make $1 million. Just for saying she want to make $1 million alone, he was punished and sacked from the government. So we believe that it is not different from Mr. Sammy Gyamfi case. So that is why today we have taken this upon ourselves to petition the relevant authorities for them to investigate this issue and come out with proper sanctions or any other thing that will clear Mr. Sammy Gyamfi very well. If he's found culpable, he should be punished. But if he's not, he should be freed. We don't have to, if we are not here or we are not doing this petition to destroy the political career or the personality of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. No, that is not the case. We want the law to work. So that tomorrow next, if the law says that giving out dollars to somebody is not a crime, then if I also have my dollars one day, I can give out to somebody in public and it will not be a crime. But if the law says it's a crime, it will serve as a lesson to everybody that when you do this, you are breaching a particular law.
I want to read more into this particular matter because the petitioner is the Member of Parliament for Nalerigu Gambaga, Mumuni Mohammed Nuruddin. Mumuni, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Haruna Mohammed is a Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. Haruna, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
This place has been a home.
Of course, of course, of course. But before we listen to them, government provided the justification for cautioning Sammy Gyamfi. Let's listen to Felix Kwachofosu, who is a government spokesperson.
In the last few days, there has been some matters relating to the acting chief executive officer of the Gold Board, Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, regarding a video that emerged of some interaction with Agrada. You would recall that in the immediate aftermath of the emergence of the video, Mr. Sammy Gyamfi promptly issued an apology in which he expressed regret over the matter and took on board public concerns raised over same. A day after that, the Chief of Staff summoned him to the presidency to learn about what transpired. The invitation was honored by Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. He indicated to the Chief of Staff what his side of the story is, what explanation there is for what we all saw in the video. At the time, President Mahama was out of the country, so he had to be briefed on the discussions held with Mr. Sammy Gyamfi by the Chief of Staff, and he has been briefed. Now, the view is that, to begin with, the presidency acknowledges Mr. Sammy Gyamfi's immediate act of contrition and the acknowledgement of the need to expressed regret over that incident. So that apology has been taken on board. You do recall that when President Obama launched the Code of Conduct, he said that one of the remedies for any potential breach was a public apology. He also said one of the potential remedies was a caution from the highest levels of government. After the interaction with the Chief of Staff, the Chief of Staff cautioned him, having acknowledged the apology he made. He cautioned him and impressed upon him to take on board public sentiment and act in ways that reflect public expectation. The Chief of Staff also took the opportunity to reissue the same caution that the President had sent to all appointees to be circumspect in their conduct. There may be things that may be commonplace in our private lives, but once you become a public official, you need to be sensitive to public expectation, and therefore that ought to guide the way that you order your steps. So in view of that, Presidency does not believe that any further action ought to be taken beyond the apology and the caution. And we all take a cue from it and are going to do better in order to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian public. We value feedback. We are aware that Ghanaians expect high standards in the performance of our duties as public officials. We remain committed to meeting those high standards.
So that's the government official position on this particular matter, espoused by Felix Kwachofo. So he is a government spokesperson. In the studio is Nuruddin. He petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the CID, CHRAJ, and then, of course, the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, Haruna. Mr. Nuruddin, so you heard the government spokesperson. As far as government is concerned, this is a closed matter. They've moved on. President Mahama is thanking the people of the Upper West region for voting for the MPP. You say that this matter cannot be moved on like that. Why?
Mabra, thank you very much for this opportunity, and good evening to you, and good evening to your viewers. I will first of all want to say a very good evening to the people of Nalero Gamba constituency for giving me the opportunity to represent them as a member of parliament for the area. If you look at this issue, after hearing from the communication minister, I was so disappointed. Likewise, the minority members in parliament were disappointed, because we were expecting that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, after hearing and seeing what Mr. Sammy Gyamfi did, the acting CEO of Gold Board and the communication officer for the National Democratic Party, we were expecting that he will be referred to the appropriate institution, like the former president always do, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. If you look at what the former president always do, when issue of this nature come up, he doesn't sit at the Flasser House and clear the person involved. What he does is to refer these issues to the appropriate state agency mandated to investigate this issue, to investigate and come out with whatever findings that they get. If you look at the former minister, Cecilia Dapar case, His Excellency, the former president sacked her and referred her to the appropriate institution, and later he was cleared for no wrongdoing. So we were expecting that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi will be referred to either CHRAJ, the CID, or the special prosecutor for investigation to go on. But unfortunately, we didn't see that yesterday. That is why we took it upon ourselves. That
you think that the inquiry that was conducted into this matter by the chief of staff wasn't enough?
No, it wasn't enough. Chief of staff is not an institution to investigate some of these misconducts. We have state institutions like CHRAJ, like the CID, like the special prosecutor.
And where is the misconduct in this matter?
If you look at the misconduct, recently His Excellency met his appointees and spelled out code of conduct for the appointees, bridge of public conduct for public appointees. He told them that appointees should not be showing off. If you look at what Sammy Gyamfi did, he showed off. Because just recently MDC came to power 4 months down the line. Sammy Gyamfi doesn't have Ghana cedi in his car. What he has is dollars. And it was alleged that the money given to Agada was $10,000. If you also look at the Foreign Exchange Act, 206 at 723, you will realize that he has also violated an act. If you also look at the Currency Act 1964, Act 242, you realize that he has also violated an act. Possible misappropriation or abuse of public resources, or he's somebody who is holding an institution, that is the new gold board that is heading. So it can be that the money that he gave out Agada was from the gold board. And also, if you look at failure of leadership and institutional oversight, these are some of the grounds that we realize that no, the chief of staff and the president cannot sit at the presidency and just clear Mr. Sammy Gyamfi just like that. We have to test the state's institutions to know whether these laws are really laws that Sammy Gyamfi breach or they are not breached. It's some of these things that will put the matter to rest. You see, we in the minority are not out there to tarnish the image of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi or destroy his personality. No, that is not what we're doing. We want the president to set a good precedent for everybody to learn lessons from. Let's say in the future, if the state institution that we petition come out and say that no, Sammy Gyamfi have done nothing wrong. So in the future, if I also do my business and I'm a politician and I have my dollars, I can organize media to come and take me pictures and I'll be giving the dollars out. I will not be offending any law. But if the state institutions say that Sammy Gyamfi has breached the laws, which means to serve as a lesson to everybody to know that flashing out foreign currency, especially dollars in this country, is lawlessness. All right. So these are some of the issues that
you are asking. We'll come back to probe further into this particular matter. But let me bring in Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. So Haruna, the MPP is still, trying to recover from the last election, the defeat that you suffered in the last election. And the suggestion here is that you are looking for every opportunity to make yourself relevant. The reason why you've taken this matter to this level, otherwise, looking at it carefully, there is really nothing much to it if you take the political, currency out of it.
Elton, you see, there is much to governance than politics. And I also disagree with you that we still trying as much as possible to come out from the defeat in 2024. And also disagree with the fact that we want to make ourselves relevant. In politics, what makes you relevant is what you have left behind, the legacies that you leave behind. And everybody knows from 1992 to date, the legacies of the MPP and the program and policies that we put through has a very higher mortality rate. Everybody knows our contributions to democratic process in Ghana in terms of election processes. Everybody knows our contribution to governance. We have major things that we have done that no government can match to that. So what we have done in government and what we have done in opposition is what has kept us relevant up to date. So we are not seeking for relevance. We are seeking for due process to ensure that the niche that we have carved for ourselves as a country called Ghana in Africa and the globe, we think that we must live to the tenets of democracy in Ghana. And that is what is driving us. And when the minority came out to do a press conference through Dr. Tia Kabiru, they made their point very clear. The National Party came out with the national organizer leading the charge for the press conference. We indicated, and we did not mince words, because what we are doing is to be able to sanctify the processes and the democratic credentials of Ghana, and to also ensure that public service organizations and persons who are put in charge of public service management are mindful of the ethical procedures. And thank God, His Excellency the President, apart from the ethical procedures and the guidelines for public service organizations, also gave us what we call the code of conduct for his appointees. And I am very surprised that Felix would say, or many other people, because I was on a platform on multimedia with him, and he said that there is no specific provision in the code of conduct that it is said that you shouldn't dash out money. You don't need to see it. And also, I want to point to, there is no any provision in the code of conduct that when you dash out money, you should be pardoned upon apology. There is no provision in the code of conduct. And we have always made references. We've made reference to section 1.2 of the code of conduct. And if you permit me, Elton,
yeah, please do.
I'll let you see. A, it says that, in his or her ministerial or political or personal role, the minister must act lawfully and uphold and be seen to uphold the highest ethical standard in relation to the president, his or her duties, and the people of Ghana. These standards include integrity, respect, probity, transparency, accountability, ethics, propriety, commitment, and loyalty. Hence, the minister must, or appointee, A, act honestly. Honesty is key. Uphold the highest standard of integrity, truthfulness, and transparency in dealing and decision-making to preserve and enhance public confidence and trust in the integrity, objectivity, and impartiality of government.
And what has Sammy Gyamfi done wrong in this particular matter?
One, if you look at, in terms of public confidence and trust, trust is very key. The reason why you pick a child and throw a child up and the child will smile and come to your arms is because of trust. If I don't trust that, when I come, you will hold me, I would not accept it.
But how does giving a gift breach trust in this particular matter?
You are giving a public office. The public office that Sammy Gyamfi is holding is an office that is to protect the foreign currency transactions, where we are going to use it to regulate the free fall of the cedi. There we put together gold reserves, which was a clear initiative of the previous government. And until then, before he went there, they have not been able to garner so much of the gold reserves. They have garnered less than 1 ton. Where we say that we are not going to more use dollars to buy crude oil, or we are to use dollars to buy other things from outside the country. We are going to use gold in exchange of those particular goods and services that we have to enhance or get into our country. So therefore, we are going to debar ourselves or try as much as possible to reduce dollar transactions to ensure that we use the gold. Such a person is seen publicly, not even transacting in foreign currency, but gifting foreign currency. And you know, in economies, speculation is very key. Speculation is a key standard of the misbehavior of foreign currencies or even local currencies. So the confidence of the people would not be served. So the public confidence and trust in this particular manner is being attacked. The integrity of public service officers to stay out there is being attacked. Again, it is also said in C, perform his or her official duties and manage his or her personal affairs in a manner that withstands the closest public scrutiny. Your personal, you must be very careful.
Right.
How you go about your personal duties.
In all
it
of
must
this,
be able to hold. Yes. So in all of this, the way manner he did that. And we saw him when the Cecilia Abena Dapa issue came. He sat on public platforms and quoted the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Section 1. He said, and I quote him, once money is found in your custody and you cannot account for the money, and that money is disproportionate to your income, you shall was stressed by him to deem to commit the offense of money laundering. But
the power money we know was in excess of 1 million.
The point is that money was
Sammy
not found.
The money that he gave to this evangelist, will not be more than $3,000.
You are speculating. The point here is that money was not found on Cecilia Dapa. Cecilia Dapa reported a theft case in her house.
Right.
But in this case, money is found on him to be counted. He counted the money like a counting machine. He gave it out to the woman in question.
But so
we want to know the source of the money.
Yeah, so if I just want to... So, Sammy Gyamfi, apart from working as communication officer of the NDC, I mean, on record, he's done private businesses. You're saying that in his right frame and stature, he cannot have this money as his bona fide property?
When Sammy Gyamfi was speaking about Cecilia Dapaah had worked in the public service for 40 years. Okay? She had worked in the public service for 40 years with private businesses. She has been an MP, she has been a deputy minister, a minister, both Kufuor government and Akufo-Addo's government. The husband, whom she lives with in the same house, is an international architect who is paid in dollars. Didn't he know that this was the same process? Did he forget about that? And today, the same person who had drawn and ensured that this sword should be used against this woman, today, people are saying that an apology is enough. No. Investigation should be conducted. If it is his money, we don't have any problem because he's a public officer. Elton, today, if you do it, we will not call for it because you are not a public officer. You are not paid with taxpayers' money. We will not call for it. But he is a public officer. And besides that, His Excellency has launched a code of conduct. And he has known to have said that the difficult decisions that you will take as president against your own is what will define you as a politician in Africa who will succeed.
Let me bring in Nuruddin. So Nuruddin, you are a member of parliament, and I'm sure that this matter really, if you look at it carefully, I mean, you politicians, you move around with money. I'm sure by the time you get out of our studios, some of your constituents who are in Accra and listen, they will come and mass up here in front of the office and try to take some lunch or dinner money from you. In the run-up to even becoming an MP, some of you spend millions of cedis just to secure the mandate of your constituents and then to win to get to power. So some of this benevolence that you do is nothing different from what you are complaining and you are asking the OSP, the CHRAJ and the others to probe Sammy Gyamfi.
Elton, these are different issues altogether. If I get out of your studio and my constituent who stays in Accra comes and say, Honorable, it's been a long time. I don't have dollars and I don't have to give him dollars.
But if you have dollars, I
won't give him dollars because Ghana, we don't spend dollars. We spend cedi. That is why even law was passed and we're telling property owners and businesses that they should stop pricing their businesses in dollars.
So the dollar is the problem here?
You see, Elton, the issue here is that if Mr. Sammy Gyamfi was giving out cedi, maybe 2,000 Ghana, because Agada told him that he should give him money, her money for fuel, is that not it? So if someone requests money for fuel and you are giving him dollars, it is even alleged that the money was up to $10,000. Elton, if you convert $10,000 even with today with their manufactured exchange range 12.45, it will be around 125,000 Ghana cedi. Fuel money, 100. Elton, if someone asks me to give him fuel money, I'll give like 100, 200, but not 125,000 Ghana cedi. So that is why we are saying that these bodies that are mandated to investigate some of this issue, to put the issue to rest. In the case of Cecilia Dapaah, we didn't see the money, but in the case of Sammy Gyamfi, we saw the money freely. In the case of the former Deputy Communication Minister in the Mahama First Administration, Victoria Hama, she made a phone call with somebody and her intention was to make $1 million. Just that intention alone, he was fired and punished. So that is why we are saying that the clearing agent cannot sit at the presidency or the Flagstaff House and clear Mr. Sammy Gyamfi just like that. We want the special prosecutor, the CHRAJ and the CID to investigate to know the source of the money. If they come out to say that the money is Sammy Gyamfi money, we don't have any problem with that. So that the next time I also do my business and I have my dollars and I'm dashing out to people, no one will take him to special prosecutor because a president has been said that if you dash out dollars, it's your own money. We also want the institution to find out whether the money is not the money entrusted in the hands of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi as acting board, chief executive of a gold board. We also want to know whether there's a potential conflict of interest in this issue. Elton, if you look at the petition again, we want to know whether the codes that we say he has violated, this institution, when they investigate, they are mandated to do these things. They will tell us whether the code was violated or not. And it will put the matter to rest. So if Sammy Gyamfi is going to be cleared, he will be cleared properly and his name will still be in touch. But the way they have cleared him is following him all over his political career. So that is why we are petitioning these institutions. And we are going to follow up to make sure that they did independent investigations and report back to the minority so that we will know whether Mr. Sammy Gyamfi has committed a crime or not committed. I stated earlier on that we are not here to witch hunt Mr. Sammy Gyamfi because of the things that he said when they were in opposition. We in the minority or in the MPP will know very well that it was propaganda, it was lies that they used in coming to power. And when they say prosperity will judge you, so prosperity is judging Mr. Sammy Gyamfi because of all what he said about Cecilia Dapa case. So we are serious about this. Parliament will resume on 27th, and we will be submitting a motion again in Parliament.
You will put a motion before the Speaker?
Before the Speaker.
Demanding what?
The committee should be set to investigate this issue.
Parliamentary committee to go into this matter as well.
Yes. This is a very serious issue. You see, this account, you see that recently, we have seen that in the last 3 days, they say the dollar has come down. But when you go to the market to buy the dollar, it's around 15, 14. But they say it's 12. We are happy if really the dollar is coming down as they said. So if the dollar is coming down, people are rushing to change their dollars to CD and do businesses. Why is Mr. Sammy Gyamfi giving out dollars to people as fuel money?
Okay, we are concluding on this matter. Let me allow her to come in.
I just want you to avert your mind to the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2020, Act 1044, Section 1. And you permit me. Money laundering. A person shall not engage in money laundering. That's Section 1(1). 2, a person commits an offense of money laundering if the person knows or ought to have known that a property is or a form or forms part of the proceeds of unlawful activity, and the person A, converts, conceals, disguises, or transfer the property for the purpose of 1, concealing or disguising the illicit origin of the property, or assisting any person who is involved in the commission of the unlawful activity to evade the legal consequences of the unlawful activity. So that particular act alone makes the possession, concealment, conversion, disguise, or transfer that is in any form forms part of an unlawful activity and an offense punishable by a term of imprisonment or up to 10 years. This is the law. This is not me saying it. We want an investigation to be conducted into it. We don't want somebody to come out. And it's becoming a norm now. When we raise the issues of the flights, quickly, the president said that there should be an assistance by the ranking member so that the security agencies will investigate. Before the president could even rest for 24 hours, the government communication came out and defended the matter and said there was nothing wrong without investigation. Again, the president is out of the country. This matter has
He's currently in the country, currently in WA on the Thank You tour.
He was out of the country at the time it happened. Quickly again, the communications officer, the communications minister by sorts, who communicates for government machinery at the presidency, came out without investigation.
He was reporting the decision of the presidency.
No, he said he's reporting the decision of the person being invited and being cautioned because the person has apologized. So today, the standard is that if you commit a crime, you quickly come out and apologize. Then the chief of staff will invite you. And then when the chief of staff invites you, the chief of staff will caution you and they will pardon you. That is the standard. And I can't see that standard in the code of conduct, that you should render an apology. And when you render an apology, it becomes the antidote and the matter will go to rest. We want a clean Sammy Gyamfi. He's a youthful person just as us. We want him to be cleared properly. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo his role was that investigate the person, brings the report, and he makes pronouncement.
Right.
So in this particular manner, there have not been a single investigation. One was the flight issue, no investigation, pronouncement was made. Another one was on the Attorney General's case, no investigation on that matter. They asked for apology from A+, an apology was rendered. A+ active account was rendered as fake. All that. Second, a third one is the Sammy Gyamfi case, which has not been investigated. They have also come out to tell us that he's been cleared. He was cleared alongside the same time as the withdrawal of the petition to CHRAJ.
Okay.
And I don't think that this is going to be a very good aspect of our governance.
Let's leave it here for now and wait for. So what response did you get from the bodies that you presented this petition to?
Elton, going around these three institutions, I must say that they are doing their job well. They give us very good reception, though we didn't meet the head of the institutions, but they have procedure when you are going to submit a petition.
Right.
When we went to CHRAJ, our petition was received and stamped, and details, they took my details. We went to the CID, the same good reception that they gave us. Went to the OSP, they gave us a very good reception. And I must commend them. So I expect that the reception that they gave us, they will put the same respect to our petition, so that if Mr. Sammy Gyamfi is going to be cleared or he's going to be punished, he will be clear and clear very well.
All right.
If he's going to be punished, he'll be punished very well. Elton, let me also remind you, we can't trust this NDC government. We can't trust them a single bit. You remember when 2 months ago or 1 month ago, the ECG cables issue. You remember that issue? Your media reported it all over. Up to date, the energy minister, the honorable member for Yapi, said that they were going to investigate the issue and get back to the public. Up to date, we have not heard anything.
Some people have been arrested and taken to court.
But they should update the public. And you media houses have to also follow up. Don't let the issues die like that. You also remember Jakpa, when they said they arrested 27 containers full of gold and dollars. Up to date, national security. Up to date, have you heard anything about it? So in the coming days, all these issues, we have to pick them up and force them to update the public. Because when you get this issue, you are quickly to run to the media, report to the public. Just because MPP left power, you want to paint the MPP black. But when they say investigate and get back to the public again,
you don't get
back to the public.
Okay.
So you have to take this issue on and make sure that the NDC and the John Mahama administration, they do the things the right way for Ghanaians to benefit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nuruddin. Before you go, I mean, since you are in our studio, let me just pick your thoughts on few matters that relates to your party. You issued a statement this week, asking that your party supporters, I don't know whether your party supporters should shut the door to those who are aspiring to lead in various positions in your party. Why this statement?
Thank you, Elton. This is a statement that is in conformity with the party's tradition and precedents. You can remember somewhere 27th of July, 2021, we issued a statement under the hand of the former General Secretary, John Boidu, where we issued the code of conduct that was governing the elections at that particular point in time. Somewhere August 2020, the National Council met and we took a decision to reaffirm and rule out the same code of conduct. That code of conduct was made public for the good people of Ghana and the members of the New Patriotic Party. In the last meeting of the National Council, again, the National Council reaffirmed the position of that particular code of conduct. And you can remember, in the hand of lawyer Justin Kodua Frimpong, he issued a statement and asked that we should stop discussing party matters in the media. And I was in this studio to explain aspects of that particular statement. In that particular statement, he carved out only that aspect of the media engagement because that was the matter at the time that was being discussed. And when you check very well in Article 18 of our party's constitution, the National Council and the National Party, guided by the rules and regulations to this constitution, there may be separate rules and regulations of the party to supplement the provisions of this constitution. These rules and regulations may provide the guidelines for the operations of the party at all levels. And that was the instance of which the code of conduct were issued.
Okay.
In that particular code of conduct, members of the party have been banned from campaigning until nominations are open. So because the exigencies of time and what is currently happening within the party, the General Secretary is refreshing the memory of the people of the party to bear in mind that the active code of conduct that was duly issued in 2021, reaffirmed in 2022, was again affirmed in 2025, and that particular code of conduct is still in existence. That is just what the General Secretary has done.
Is it a case that others, some of those who are hoping to lead in various positions in the party, are they peaking ahead of time? You think this may destabilize your internal arrangement, the reason why you are reminding them to do this?
You see, there is always a process in everything that you do. Once that process begins, you must get to that stage of which you open nominations and people. So at this stage, we are doing a rebuilding process.
Okay.
We are also thanking the people with regards to a decision of the National Council. So in this particular manner, we don't need people to be campaigning, gathering party officers to sit down to discuss about nominations or possible contest. Nobody is stopping any individual of having ambition. You can have ambition, you can have discussion with Elton, oh, this is the position, I want to contest this and that. But we are telling the general public and the party officers, and again, prospective aspirants, to desist from gathering executives of our party. And when we say executives of our party, polling station executive, electoral area executives, constituency executives, regional executives,
right,
national executives, branch executives. You don't gather them at this moment. We have not opened nominations for any contest.
And so there will be punishment for anybody who violates this?
Yes, there are punishment that is clearly stated in there. And we remind them that this is what the rule is, and we should all abide by it. Remember, the tenets of the New Patriotic Party, one of the credentials and the values of the New Patriotic Party is competition. Nobody fears competition. When the right time comes, we will compete. When we end the competition, we will cooperate. And when we cooperate, we'll get victory and we govern. That's what we want.
Thank you so much. Haruna Mohammed is a Deputy General Secretary of the MB. Also, Momoni Nuruddin is a Member of Parliament for Narigu, and for coming to the studio. We'll follow up on this matter that they presented to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, CHRAJ, Police CID, to investigate the source of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi's wealth. We'll take a short break here on the pause. When we return, we'll deal with other stories. Stay put.